I am back from one of my favorite coin shows, and at this show, the reason it's my favorite is because a couple of my favorite dealers go to this show. And I think today I've come back with the single biggest purchase that I've ever made as far as the number of coins I picked out. Now, I've made some large grab bag purchases before where I didn't know what I was getting, but let me show you what I ended up with. First of all, he has a 5 for $1 bin, which is most of what you see here. There's a couple of things he gave me for free and a couple of coins that were in a 50% off bin. But he also had a lot of carded coins that we have right here. And so I am just now back from the show, and I haven't had a chance to look at what I've gotten yet. I haven't had a chance to think about how I'm going to structure this video yet. I know I'm not going to get to all this in one video. This is going to span multiple videos, but I just wanted to show you that we were able to stuff everything in this one box, and it was just practically perfect for that. All in all, if you include these coins right here, there's 210 coins. That's my count. And before we start looking at anything individually, let me just kind of pull some out here. I don't know if they're going to be appear to have any sorting on here, but just to kind of give a teaser of what's going to be in the coming up in the video as I actually have a chance to process these. To an extent, I don't even fully remember what's here for a lot of these. So one of the reasons he's my favorite dealer is I feel like he is a lot like me, except he's got maybe 30 years in the hobby longer than I have. And so he's an older gentleman, but he's a really nice guy, really fun to sit at his booth, and I probably spent a couple hours at his booth just going through everything. His name is Ken, and if you're in the Tennessee area, he is at he lives near Knoxville, and he is at almost every Knoxville coin show, and he's one of the few dealers that deals exclusively with world coins, and I like that about him. And so I feel like he collects the same way I do, where I buy a lot of coins and I go through my collection, see what's an upgrade, see what's new, and then take the things that I no longer need. But he will actually sell them individually. He will sell coins for 15 cents that are carded like that. I mean, this one was cheaper than what I got in the bin right here in that bag. And so for him to take the time to individually price or individually card all of these, because you know it's 3 cents a flip, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time. Takes staples. He's nice enough to put 4 staples on every coin. Most people don't do that, and so you can tell that he loves spending his time with coins. And I think my favorite dealers are the ones that don't run shops, don't have to make the biggest profits, but just love putting coins in flips, loves looking at coins. And these are the things that he doesn't need for his collection because he already has some of each of these. So he always has a deal at his table where if you spend $100, you will get 20% off the total order. And let's see, my notes here, I paid $122.75 for everything. Because when I was done, he actually got out a calculator and he added up every single thing here. And so if it had a price of 25 cents on it, then I got 20% off of that. So I would have gotten it for 20 cents. Practically everything on here is written at book price, although sometimes you get a coin that is well worn as this one. I think he's a little bit too loose on the grading schedule. I don't know that I would call that fine. Maybe I would. Maybe this isn't the right coin to complain about, but or you know, something like this that has a big spot on it. He's not going to knock off for that necessarily. That's okay because of I am getting a lot of these at a deal. And most of the coins I picked up, last time I bought from him half a year ago, I went up and instead of looking up the book price, because he was solid on the book price every single time. Well, the book price isn't going to necessarily have a good grade on there, but he had the book price right on. I would run it against, I would compare it against Numista, and almost every single coin I picked up was a lot better with the Numista price than what I got. So I feel like I was pretty good at picking out some of the really good bargains out of here. So if you think about it, just looking at this coin right here, it's 0.23 ounces. I got this below spot because he gave me a 20% off discount on that one silver coin right there. So you go to his table, he has everything he has for sale really well organized. Another Mexican silver coin. He's got all of his world coins in these flips. He had about 20 albums, and they were all sorted by country. And so I was able to sit down and, okay, let me go through the Canada album, let me go through the Mexico album, let me go through smaller countries A through E. And he gave me a compliment saying that the fact that I was willing to sit there and look through everything that he brought, that made it worth it for him to show up that day. Because sometimes there's not always someone that cares as much as I do going through some of these coins. Now, a lot of these coins, especially these cheaper ones, I'm specifically purchasing to be what I consider good trade pieces. If it's more than about 30 cents, almost always it's going to be something that I intended to purchase for myself to keep. So I'm giving you kind of a teaser right now. There's so much here, it's very possible that not all of these will appear in a forthcoming video. It just depends on my mood. If there are things in here that I have cut out because I featured them in videos before recently, maybe they don't need to be in another video so soon. But if it's something I've never seen before, then maybe I don't need to. Well, if it's something I don't have, then I would definitely need to show it off in a video. And these also weren't the only good purchases that I made from this show, but there are some other videos that I'm going to make from the show also. So it's probably going to take me a while to get to this. So this is just kind of a teaser opening for this segment. I'm going to take a few days, if not a few weeks, processing these coins and figuring out how I want to make a video out of it. And once I finish this one little stack right here of teasing you with everything, I'm going to stop recording for today. I'm going to process all these, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to decide. We're going to look at some of these coins today, some more coins in another video, and some more coins in another video, and I don't know how many videos it's going to take. So I guess I'm done teasing you for now. When I come back, we're going to dig in. I am back, and it is literally 5 months later than when I recorded the opening to this video. There were so many interesting coins in this lot that I just decided we can't get to them all, and I've split it up into 4 different parts. We're going to do part 1 right now. Part 1 is going to be smaller, but it's going to be all the coins that we have on the screen right now. The next 3 videos are going to be twice as much as this. But there was so much to look at here, other things that I purchased from the same coin show, more recent coin shows that I've been to. It just took way too long for me to evaluate everything that was here. But there, like I said, a lot of good stuff. I don't even really remember what I said in the first part of this video since it was so long ago, but I am going to have a running tally of what I paid for these coins. And of course, that was 20% off of the book price, or the written price on here. And almost always, this dealer lists the Kraus catalog price on everything on here. He might grade a little bit up a little bit too much. That might be the only problem with it. But I'm going to compare the price that I paid to the Numista price that gets listed on there, and we're going to see. Compare what I paid to what the coin community thinks it's worth. And I have everything sorted from the smallest price to the greatest price. We're going to start with a Mardi Gras token. And he just gave me this for free. He's done this before. He just wants to get rid of it. So Dionysus and his retinue. Okay, I don't know what that means, but looks like a year of 2009 on this Mardi Gras token. Features Hermes on that side. So that's just a plastic green token. Some coins that were out of a 5 for $1 bin. We have this coin from Pakistan. Has written in multiple languages here of a year of 1955. This is a half of an anna. And so in Arabic, to draw a 2, it looks like a backwards 7. So that's where we have 1/2 written on here, but in English it does say half anna on the right side of their numerals. We flip this one over, and it has the logo that we see on a lot of the Pakistan coins. We've got this Tufra symbol with the Pakistan crescent moon and star. This coin is catalog KM13. It is made out of nickel brass. It was made out of copper nickel from 1948 to 1951, and then here it is in the nickel brass, and then they changed it to a decimal system in 1961. Next we have a coin from the Arab Republic of Egypt. This one is going to be a 5 millim's. This features, this is an FAO coin, and it features the Aswan Dam, which was finished in 1970 on the Nile River. This coin was made in our calendar, 1973, their calendar of 1393. Catalog number is KM 433. And in Arabic at the very top, it has the words, produce more food. We flip it over, and we see the number, their number 5 is that circle-ish, or that roundish, that's how they draw their 5. This particular coin was demonetized a year later in 1983. It is made out of aluminum with a trace amount of magnesium in it. We're going to move to Uruguay. This is going to be a 1 peso coin from 1960. Catalog is KM 42. And their coins at the time feature Jose Artigas. This, the Uruguay 1 peso is made out of silver up through 1942. And then the 1 peso was made in a reduced size starting in 1965. Everything else in this video is going to be carded. So now we're going to move to Spain. We have this coin from 1980, and at this time they started to produce coins celebrating how they were going to host the World Cup starting in 1982. Catalog KM 815. This is one I don't see hardly often. It is the 50 centimos from 1980. And of course it has 82 on this side because that's when the World Cup was. Has the soccer ball and the world logo above the number 50. Kind of a plain design compared to some of the larger denomination coins of the time. I will point out that Like a lot of Spain coins from the time, the 1980 is the first year that the coin was produced, but it has a star with a 19 and another star with an 80 right here. That's the actual year that the coin was made, whereas the larger number is the first year the coin was made. As it turns on, this coin is a one-year coin, so you're only going to find them from 1980. But sometimes for some well-worn coins, it's really hard to see the number that is in those stars. We're going to move to Brazil during their hyperinflation period. This was made in 1986. It was the smallest denomination coin of its time. Catalog number is KM600. This is going to be a 1 centavo, and at the time they had this Brazilian coat of arms on the reverse of all their coins. This was during their cruzado system, and 100 centavos made 1 cruzado. Surprisingly, I didn't have this coin, but it's not rare either. It could be that I would come across this and not want to pay a quarter for it, but I was willing to pay 15 cents. They made 100 million of these in 1986, and while they're still on the same system, the next year they only made 1 million in 1987 and 88. We're going to move on to the Somali Republic. This is a 1-year coin made in 1967. It is a 5 centesimi, KM6, made out of brass, so unfortunately these brass coins do tarnish a lot. So the denomination here is written in 3 different languages. We have Arabic at the very bottom. Again, there is their number 5 right here. In the middle, they have this written in Italian as 5 centesimi. At the very top, it is written in English where it says 5 cents. This was minted at the UK Royal Mint. We're going to move to a British-controlled country. We have Queen Elizabeth on this side of the scalloped edge coin. It is from Ceylon, KM 124. This one is a 2 cents coin from 1955. And so there they use an alphabet that I cannot read, but there are 2 languages on here, the left and the right, of the date. So these are the languages of, if I'm pronouncing it right, the Sinhala and the Tamil languages. This coin was only produced 2 years, 1955 and 57. This coin is in a kind of gross condition, pretty gross, especially when we look the other side, but this is going to come from the Bank of Uganda. Has the number 10 on here, surrounded by 4 animal tusks. Now, before Uganda was making their own coins, they were part of the Eastern African, British East Africa, and they kept a very similar design. And then here is where it's very corroded and probably has even been cleaned to try and get some of that off of there, but it's got kind of the look of a clean coin. But pretty rare, and one of the reasons it's rare is this was made out of bronze from 1966 to 1975. But this year of 1976, for 1 year, it was made out of copper-plated steel. So this one is catalog KM2A, and the A is this 1-year copper-plated steel version. So that one priced at 40 cents. We're going to move to Iran, where we have a coin with a value here of 250 rials. The Persians tended to draw their 5, instead of looking like a 0, they look like an upside-down heart. That has a date on their calendar of 1389. Our calendar is 2010. We flip it over, and it has the Fezia school. Coin is catalog KM 1270. This is the large denomination version of this coin, which they made on their calendar 1389 and 1390. And in foreign exchange value, 250 reals is worth in American money 0.6 cents. We're going to move to Egypt, where we have a coin of 20 piastres. Has two calendar dates on here. Our calendar of 1992, their calendar of 1413. Catalog number on this one is 733. I paid 75 cents for it, minus the discount. We flip this one over, and I do wonder if this one has a die rotation error, because let me carefully flip it over this way, and it's a little bit sideways where it needs to appear like this. But this features the Al-Azhar Mosque. Numista says this is worth $1.60, and in foreign exchange value, this one is worth 0.4 American cents. I'm going to hide what's written on this slip for a moment, see if you can figure out what it is. So we've got a portrait of Queen Elizabeth here. Let me flip it over, and on the other side we have a polar bear. Do you recognize the polar bear design? This comes from the Canadian bimetallic $2 coin. And so this is the inner part of the $2 coin. And when the Toonie, which is what this is called, was first produced, people noticed that it was not that difficult to punch out the middle portion of this coin out of the outside ring. And so, if you look it up, there are apparently videos of people who would take a hammer and just kind of punch it out. Maybe if you were to put it in the freezer, that would make it a little bit easier, because the different metals might freeze at a different freezing point, or something along those lines. Apparently, they made it where in newer versions of this coin it was harder to do that. But apparently, at some point, it was said to be illegal to do this on purpose. I don't know what the punishment would be for defacing a coin. I guess the thinking here was, we don't want people doing it on purpose, because then we just have to make even more of them. However, if you had just one of the pieces, the inner or the outer ring, and you took it to a bank, you were supposed to be able to get $1 of value for it. So you could trade this in for $1, and if you had the outer ring, you could also trade that for $1. So we don't know the year on it, but this would have been catalog number KM270. I paid $1 for it. As you can see, this was made from 96 to 2000 with that portrait of the Queen. This design is going to be a coin from Afghanistan, where we've got the palace there in the middle, a couple of flags coming out from either side, surrounded by a wreath. We flip it over. This side has nothing but Arabic writing, and of course it is pretty well worn, so thankfully I recognized, he already had it written down what was going on here. So this was during the reign of Muhammad Zahir Shah. Has a date of their calendar 1331, our calendar 1952. There's two different denominations written on here, 50 pool and a half Afghani. So the Afghanistan currency of this time was the Afghani. So a half of that would be 50 pool. And so it has the denomination spelled out on this side. And when I looked this up on Numista, there is a variation here not listed in the Krause catalogs. This was called the Vertical 1 version of the coin. Can't even tell where that was on here, so I had to go to Numista and look up KM 947 to figure it out. This is made out of nickel-clad steel, So the book price here is $1.50. Numista says it's worth $1.40. Next we have a weirdly toned coin from Hungary. This is made out of steel. It's not stainless steel or it'd be shiny, so it's just plain steel. But we have a 20 filler coin with a Budapest mint mark below the hole. Magyar is Hungary, so it has a date of 1943. This comes from their Pengo currency system, which ended in 1946. Catalog is KM 520. As it turns out, 1943 is the rarest date on here, where they only made 7.5 million. So book price is $2, and Numista says it's worth $2.80. Here is a design you're not going to see very often. This comes from the India Princely State of Gwailor, and I could probably be mispronouncing that. Gwailor. It's going to be a 1/4 Anna with a calendar date, their calendar of 1986, our calendar of 1929. We flip it over, and it has the prince here is Maharaja Javaj Rao, who ruled from 1925 to 1948. There are some variations here. This is the thick planchet version of the coin, but there are also different versions of this coin have a different nose. So if we can get closer on the nose here, this is called the fine nose or the normal nose. The other version of this coin is a little bit larger, and it's called the crude version or the pug version of the nose. And so that was probably just some kind of die error where over time it got a little bit bigger, I guess. I'm just guessing on that. But catalog number with the different variations are 176.1. So I paid $3, and the Numista says this is worth $2.40. So several in a row here that I would have not gotten my money's worth on it if I hadn't gotten the discount. So our last coin of this first video of the series is an earlier coin from French Equatorial Africa. This is going to be a 1 franc. We have a shield with RF for Republique Française on it. This was made in 1943. Catalog number is KM2A. The A means that this was the copper version of the coin. Version KM2 was the brass version of the coin. They made 6 million of the brass version and 3 million of this copper version. So when I said Equatorial France, I meant to say that it was the Central African states, which was made up of Gabon, Chad, Middle Congo, and Ubangui Shari, which is the country, whatever it was called back then, and I'm not up on what that is today, but those were the countries that made it up back then. Let's flip it over. Here we see the date of 1943. So we have a Parisian privy mark, but this was not made in Paris. There is an SA below this cross, which stands for South Africa. So this was minted in Pretoria, South Africa. So I think it was interesting how this had, he just kept the old flip that someone had put this in. And at one point someone wanted $8.95 for this coin. He ended up charging 7. He wrote 7 again right here. But Nemista says this one books for $9.40. So, yeah, I guess I did pretty good on this one. So let's add up everything. Without the discount, the listed price on everything we looked at today came up to $17.50. But the book value is $24.60. By book value, I mean the Nemista value. All right, so I think we're just getting warmed up on this series. So my next video is going to be part 2 out of 4 of this series, and I hope to catch you in that next one. All right, until then, bye.